She know what it is. She know what it is. Shawty be jacking the love train. She know what it is. Love strain. She know what it is. She shawty be puffing the love strain. She know what it is. She shawty be riding the love train. She packing the kids. She shawty analysis. She in love with the drugs and the honesty. We fall in love platonically and fall back in love periodically. She shawty be jacking the love strain. She know
I am in the building.
She shawty be puffing the love strain. She know what it is.
Kicking in the backs of the Democratic left.
In love with the drugs and the honesty. We fall in love platonically. We fall back.
Welcome to the show.
We puffing the love pack. Pumping the pounds. Rolling hoes away to love her now. Baby girl, just hit me back. Roll up on my fucking jack. I'ma hit it from the.
Woo!
I'ma pull up to the.
I'm feeling good right now.
Tryna pull up, baby, throw it in your back.
I'm feeling good right now.
I thug you out, something like a valley though. Out up in the hood though, smoking backwoods though. Switching sweet, I'm good though. Baby, no.
We got a lot to get to.
Leave in the coupe, right up in the sports car.
We're talking about Koala Bear Harris tonight.
Baby, we can go from the moon to infinity. She rolling up, baby girl looking good, and she Colombian. All of my
Listen to this high note.
tell me, baby, you tryna lay up with me, and you know you looking crazy, laying in Mercedes. She shawty be puffing the love strain, she know what it is. She shawty be riding the love train, she packing the kids. She shawty analysis. She in love with the drugs and the honesty. We fall in love platonically and fall back in love periodically. She shawty be jacking the love strain, she know what it is. She shawty be puffing the love strain, she know what it is. She shawty analysis. She in love with the drugs and the honesty. We fall in love platonically, we fall back in love periodically.
I see I'm a little blurry. Welcome to the Check-in Report, ladies and gentlemen. I am your humble host, trueandlivin. I see I'm a little bit blurry on my screen here. Salute to Dr. Strange. I see Dr. Strange is in there. Yeah, I'm a little bit blurry tonight, man. You're gonna have to forgive me for being a little bit blurry tonight. We're gonna have to rock out with me being a little bit blurred. So forgive me, y'all. Forgive me for the screen being a little bit blurry. That's something I'm gonna have to fix, another time, man. We're gonna have to just ride out. I don't want to deflect from the show. We're just gonna have to do the show blurry tonight. But it'll be all right because we're gonna do a dual screen tonight. We are here. We are gathered here today to talk more about the political left and Kamala Bear Harris. That's what we're here to talk about tonight. Old footage has surfaced of Koala Bear Harris getting chewed out by Tulsi Gabbard. Salute to Tulsi Gabbard. Old footage has surfaced of her tearing Kamala Harris a new one. I did not know, Tulsi Gabbard, put a shellacking on this woman. And after seeing this footage, I can't wait to see a debate between her and Trump. I can't wait now. If this is what she's going to do in a debate, if this is what she's going to have to offer in a debate, I cannot wait to see her in a debate setting now. How many of y'all have seen that video? How many of y'all have seen the video with her and Tulsi Gabbard Gabbard going back and forth in a debate? I have the video queued up. We're gonna get to it very shortly. We have to. It's of critical importance that we do. Absolutely tore her a new one. Absolutely put a shellacking on her. And I just want to know, I want to know you guys' thoughts. I just want to know you guys' thoughts. Somebody said Corona needs to be in a bottle. It's tastier. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. That is a fact. Look what else I got. Look what else I got. I'm on my dirty white boy stuff right here. Look what else I got. I should have got a natty daddy, right? I should have got a natty daddy. Yeah, but nah, you're right. It is absolutely better in a glass, no, in a bottle, no question, no question. But we're here to talk about Kamala Harris getting chewed out. She absolutely got chewed out in an old footage. Tulsi Gabbard. Now, maybe you guys can educate me on Tulsi Gabbard. Is she a senator as well? Let me do my yeah, you know about them natty daddies, Dr. Strange. Come on now. You know about them natty daddies. When I was living in Richmond, you know what I was drinking? I was really on some white boy shit back then. I was drinking PBRs, Pabst Blue Ribbon. I was drinking that shit back then. But nah, Tulsi Gabbard, former United States representative. Okay, so she used to be a representative. Okay, I just want to know her background just a little bit. Yeah, but she absolutely tore Kamala Harris a new one in this old footage that has been resurfacing. And, you know, after watching this clip, after looking at this, I really want to see this woman in a debate. I want to see this woman in a debate now. Like I am foaming at the mouth. Pause. No Diddy. To see this woman in a debate now after seeing this footage of Tulsi Gabbard absolutely chewing her out. I don't think Kamala Harris is debate ready. You know, you would think she would be debate ready because she's a former prosecutor, right? You would think she would be debate ready. But I don't think she has the skills to pay the bills, you know? She's not used to somebody talking over her. She's not used to somebody as charismatic as Donald Trump. Somebody said in a debate with whom? In a debate with Trump, you know? Allegedly, her and Trump is supposed to do a debate. You know, we're all waiting for that. I would love to see that. But this footage has been resurfacing of Tulsi Gabbard absolutely tearing Kamala Harris a new one. Let's get into this footage. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get into it.
I want to bring the conversation back to the broken criminal justice system that is disproportionately negatively impacting Black and brown people all across this country today.
This is Tulsi Gabbard, and what she said is an absolute fact. Now listen to what Tulsi Gabbard is saying. These are things that directly affect the Black and brown community. Kamala Harris, you was a prosecutor. A lot in San Francisco of all places. You were a prosecutor. A lot of those black men and those brown men in those areas, you were sitting across from. And you were giving them significantly higher sentencing than their white counterparts. Were you not, Kamala Harris? Tulsi Gabbard, she gets into it.
Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record.
Mm-hmm.
There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations, and then
Think about all those black men, all those Latino men that she locked up, threw away the key, didn't give them a second chance. And you got to look at, you know, especially in California, you know, weed is damn near legal now. It's legal in a lot of places. All of those black men and Latino men that she locked up, threw away the key, didn't care about second chances. All this woman cared about was her political career, furthering her career, going higher in her career. She was willing to throw everybody underneath the bus. I don't care if you're a black man in a poor neighborhood. I don't care if you're a Latino man and you can't get a job. I'm going to hammer home the charges. I'm going to bloviate and inflate the charges. I'm going to lock you up. Throw away the key. All to further my career. That's what her record shows you. Hit that like button, y'all. We got 59 people in the building. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. But that's what her record shows you. Her record shows you is that she was willing to do anything to further her career. I don't care if there's reasonable doubt that this person didn't do. I don't care if there's listen, there's always going to be exceptions to the rule. Your job as a prosecutor is to get a conviction. That's the job of a prosecutor. It's not to have humanity. It's not to have empathy. It's not to have a human heart. It's not to believe in second chances. It's a job that's a dirty job, and the job is to get convictions. And Tulsi Gabbard is talking about it.
There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana.
1,500 people in jail for marijuana. All you Kamala sexuals that like to light up the ganja. You're smoking on the moon rock, the Girl Scout cookies, the White Widow, the sour diesel. That's that New York stuff. All you Kamala sexuals that like to smoke weed. Think about all those 15,000 brothers and sisters that she threw the book at over minor drug charges. Weed. She didn't have the humanity to say, you know what, weed should be legal. She didn't have the empathy to say, you know what, we should decriminalize marijuana. Because these people are not, these guys are not, they're not crack users. They're, like a lot of weed smokers, a lot of weed smokers that I know, they're very active. They're not the type of weed smokers that just like to sit around and smoke weed all day, eat Taco Bell. They're very active. They go to work. They go to the gym. They have hobbies. They have families. They're very active. She decided to use the law to throw black and brown men in jail at a higher rate than she did for the white counterparts. Did she not? And should she not feel responsible for that? Because every time we see her, what is she doing? Cackling, kiki. She's cackling the cackling cow. Should she not be responsible for the black and brown men that she thrown in jail? Should she not be responsible for all those black and brown men that she thrown in jail? I think she should be.
As a prosecutor, and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana.
Wow! 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 So you know what that means, y'all? We're dealing with a hypocrite. We are dealing with a hypocrite here. This woman, Kamala Bear Harris, she, as a prosecutor, she would lock up a black man that had weed on him. But if in her little circle, in her little circle or whatever, she wouldn't mind lighting up a nickel bat of weed every now and then. in her college years, her HBCU years, she wouldn't mind copping a little nickel bag of weed. She wouldn't mind doing this. It's very interesting. And you have to think about the mind of a hypocrite. The fact that you could sit across from somebody, understand where they're coming from. Like Kamala Harris, more than likely, she has smoked weed plenty of times before. Just look at her lips. You know, she got those kind of brownish lips. A lot of roach clips. She smoked a lot of roach clips in her day. I'm sure of it. A lot of roach clips of the Reggie. But here you have a woman who has smoked weed before and has sit across from black men, and she knows very well that the justice system has been, you know, pretty much browbeating black men that smoke weed, criminalizing black men that smoke weed, throwing black men in jail at a higher rate than they do for white people who smoke weed. But instead of saying, you know what, I want to change this. I don't want to put black and brown men in jail for smoking weed because I like to smoke weed. I think it's a harmless drug. I've done it before. And it goes into what I said, how prosecutors don't have humanity. They don't have empathy. She couldn't rationalize it and say, you know what? I used to smoke weed when I was in college, when I was younger. It needs to be decriminalized. I'm putting black and brown men in jail at a higher rate than I'm doing for white men and women. I don't need to be gelling up, you know, black men that smoke weed. That's wrong. She said, nah. These niggas going to jail. Nah. I'm trying to further my career. I'm trying to make district attorney. I'm trying to become a senator. I'm trying to become a vice president. And I'm not going to let some pot-smoking Negro get in the way of my aspirations. Essentially, that's where she was coming from. Essentially, that was her motive. That's what was her way of thinking. Because we're dealing with a prosecutor here. You know, prosecutors, like I said, prosecutors don't have empathy. They don't have compassion. They don't have that. Their job, their sole purpose in job is to get a conviction. That's their job. A prosecutor's job is to create more slaves for the prison industrial complex. Is it not? Is that not the job of a prosecutor to create more slaves for the prison industrial system? Is it not? That's what she contributed to. That's what she contributed to. So I just want to let y'all know that, you know, just putting that thing and putting that in perspective.
But she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked.
And laughed about it, you know, and she loves laughing in the faces of black and brown people. You know how I know she loves laughing in the faces of black and brown people? Because she had the audacity to say this to us.
I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
She had the audacity to say that to black America. She thinks that low of us. She thinks that low of us to spit in our faces, tap dancing, shucking and jiving for the black vote. But when we're asking for incentive, when we're asking for you to work on behalf of us, this is her rhetoric.
I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
How dare you? How dare you, Kamala? How dare you? How dare you laugh in our faces? How dare you cackle, the cackling cow? How dare you cackle in our faces. Have you no shame, woman?
People in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence.
Hold on.
She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until
She blocked evidence for that would have freed a man from death row. Now, this goes into my theory of this woman not wanting to work for the people, not wanting to do things for the, the incentive of the people, not working on behalf of the black and brown community, not being a people person. Because keep in mind, she's not a people person. She has yet to sit down with a publication and give them a proper interview. This is a woman that is all about herself. She doesn't think about the people. It's not about the people. It's not about working on behalf of the people. It's not about doing things for the people, working on behalf of the people's interests. This is an ambitious woman that is all out for self. All she cares about is furthering her career. All she cares about is you got to think about how low of a human being do you have to be to block evidence that would free a man from death row. How low of a human being do you have to be? How low? You would have to be a pretty sick, demented, foul, scandalous woman to hide evidence, to hold evidence that would release a man on death row. But this is the woman you want the black people and the black vote to vote for? This is the woman the Latino civil rights group is supporting? This is who you guys are fighting for? I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted. I am disgusted. I am utterly disgusted. Hiding evidence that would free a man on death row. Man is about to lose his life. Lethal injection. And Kamala Bear Harris is hiding the evidence, holding the evidence, holding it back. How bad of a human being do you have to be to do something like that? That's very foul, very wrong.
Bring the conversation.
It's very wrong. Let's get back into it, though.
Forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences.
Woo!
Prison.
Hold on.
Until the courts forced her to do so.
Hold on.
Freed an innocent man from death row.
An innocent man. The man was innocent. The man was innocent, and she still withholded evidence that would have freed him. That's a low. That's very low. That's very low. And this is the person that you're talking about. Oh, she's gonna fight for us. She's our only hope against Trump. She's a black woman and all this nonsense. But Tulsi Gabbard is bringing it out. Let's continue.
Until the courts forced her to do so.
The courts forced her to do it too. She didn't do it. Now, back to what I was saying, right? Back to what I was saying. It goes back to what I said of prosecutors. They don't have compassion. They don't have empathy. They don't look at somebody, a person that they're going against. You know, a person, somebody that's in that courtroom that they're going in, and they don't humanize that person. They just look at that person as filth, as trash. Oh, I'm going to hammer home these charges. I'm going to hammer home these things. I'm going to make you take this plea deal for 20 years. I'm going to make you take this plea deal for 30 years. That's what their job is, to create slaves for the prison industrial system. That's a fact. This woman, Koala Bear Harris, the Prince of Camelot, withheld evidence that would have freed an innocent man. How could you not be disgusted, y'all? How could you not feel away? How could you not feel away? How could you not feel away? That's my question to a lot of you. How could you not feel away about her doing that, partaking in that? How could you not look at her side? And really, I'm talking to a lot of you Kamala sexuals, because a lot of you Kamala sexuals, you're guilty of not, asking questions. You're guilty of not knowing more about this woman. You're guilty of just going along with the process and not really doing more Googles, not doing more research, not looking into this woman. What is her background as a prosecutor? What is her background as a district attorney? You guys are willing to do anything just to get rid of Trump. That's what you're willing to do. It's written all over your face. Written all over your face. Let's get back into it.
People in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California.
Now that goes into what I said. What did I say? The job of a prosecutor is to create slaves for the prison industrial system. That was her job. So all of you saying that this is a black woman, this is a strong, independent black woman, she's working for us, she's doing this for us, yada, yada, yada. This woman created slaves. And a lot of those slaves were your brothers. A lot of those slaves were your uncles, your fathers. She created slaves for the prison industrial system. Should she not be held responsible for that? Should she not be held responsible for all the innocent black men and brown men that she thrown in jail just because she was trying to further her career? I'm asking the question. I want to know, yes or no. Let me know in the chat. I'm looking at the chat. Let me know in the chat. And if you wanna talk to me, if you have anything to say to me, put it in a super chat. Put it in a super chat. I put respect on the donors. People that donate to the channel, I put respect on the donors. I read all donations. But let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. Should she be held responsible for the innocent men that she thrown in jail? Should she be held responsible? Because, they love to talk about holding Trump responsible. Trump is a dictator. Trump did this. Trump did that. Should Kamala Harris be responsible for the black and brown men that she thrown in jail that were innocent? Should she be held responsible for all those innocent men that she thrown in jail for hiding evidence that could have freed a man that was on death row? I think she should. I think she should. What's up, Sinclair? I see Sinclair's in the building. What's good, Sinclair? Let's get back into it.
And she fought to keep cash bail system in place.
See, they tried to cut her off. CNN tried to cut her off because they know she was cooking with gas. CNN tried to cut her off because they know she was cooking. Now let's run back what she said just one more time, because she was cooking. She was cooking.
There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when
1,500 people just for marijuana. All you Kamala sexuals, and trust me, I know a lot of you Kamala sexuals, you love weed. I know that's for a fact. I know the liberals, if there's one thing liberals love, they love the ganja. They love the weed. They love it. They love it. Absolutely love it. They love it. They love it. You have to ask yourself this question. For all you Kamala sexuals that love to smoke weed, how can you support a woman that put over 1,500 people in jail just for marijuana? How could you support that? How could you back that? Listen, I know you a Kamala sexual. I know you got your pronouns in order. Salute to Nathan Tamaru. Salute to Nathan Tamaru with the $2 donation. Salute to you, sir. He says, hell yes, Kamala should be held responsible. That's an absolute fact. Again, salute to Nathan Tamaru. Again, we put respect on the donors. So donate to the channel. If you want to add something to the argument, you want to add something to the discussion, send a donation to the super chat. But what you're saying is absolutely right. She should be held responsible. All of those black and brown men and keep in mind, I want you guys to just realize this, especially if you're a Kamala sexual and you're black or you're Latino. I just want you to realize this. This woman was working for the prison industrial system. This woman was working for the white supremacist justice system. And she gave black and brown men higher charges than their white counterparts. Did she not? So this is what you're fighting for. As a pot-smoking liberal, a pronoun-using pot-smoking liberal that absolutely hates Donald Trump, you are putting a woman or trying to put a woman in office that put over 1,500 people in jail just for weed. How could you live with that as a pot smoker? How could you deal with that as a pot smoker? How could you back something like that as a pot smoker? This is a woman that had no humanity. She didn't come to her senses and say, you know what? I used to smoke weed when I was in high school, when I was in college. I don't smoke it no more, but it needs to be decriminalized because, there's black and brown men going to jail for it, and it's not that deep. It's not that serious. She said, no. I'm going to use this law to further my career. I'm going to use this law to lock up black and brown men. I'm going to use this law to further my career as a prosecutor so I can become district attorney. That's a fact.
she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana, she blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from...
Blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man. That's very low level thinking, low vibrational, trash human being. That's what she was. That's what she was as a prosecutor. And that's the life of a lawyer. That's one of the most dirtiest jobs. A lot of these prosecutors, a lot of these lawyers, they know full and damn well let's just tackle the prosecutor. They know full and damn well the officer's dirty. He has a dirty police record. The prosecutor knows full and damn well the cop should have never pulled that black man out of the car like he did. He violated his rights. But you know what that prosecutor's gonna do? Yeah, he pulled you out of his car. He pulled you out of the car because you had weed in your car. You're a criminal. You had a little bit of weed in your car, so you're a criminal. So he had to pull you out the car and violate your rights. That's what she did as a prosecutor. She put her humanity to the side. She put her empathy to the side and said, you know what? I'm going to do whatever I can to further my career. That's what she did.
Death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor.
We got 200 people in the building. I need y'all to hit that like button. Hit that like button right now. Hit that subscribe button. That's a fact.
What a thrill.
Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. We're riding high right now.
Darkness and silence through the night.
A lot of y'all in the darkness, I need you to hit that like button right now.
What a thrill.
It's a thrill to be here with you, but hit that like button.
I'm searching and I'll melt into you.
A lot of y'all are searching and melting for the like button. Hit that thing right now. Hit that thing right now. While we get to it, I'm not your homie. I'm the one and only Macaroni. Let's get back into it.
For the state of California, and she fought to keep cash bail system in place.
And they tried to shut Tulsi up. They tried to shut Tulsi Gabbard up. Salute to Nathan Tamaru with another $2 donation. Salute to you, sir. He says she wanted to jail single mothers for truant kids. Really? I never heard that. Is that true? She wanted to jail single mothers for truant kids. Wow. Wow. I never heard that. Is that true? That's absolutely crazy. Salute to Nathan for that donation as well. But if that's true, think about it. A lot of you black women out there, a lot of you black women, single black women, listen, I know you work hard. I know you work hard. You do everything for your kids. You work hard. Yeah, you may drop off your son or your daughter, a couple minutes late to school. But you're doing everything right as a mother. You're making sure they get their breakfast. You're making sure they got their school clothes in order. You're picking up the slack where your kid's father should have picked up the slack at. You're doing everything you can, but no. Kamala Harris wants to throw you in jail just because your kids are 5-10 minutes late from school. Wrap your head around that. Wrap your head around that. You doing everything as a single black mother. Making sure your kids eat, making sure they're dressed, making sure their homework is done, making sure they have manners when they go to school. And just because you're 5-10 minutes late, Koala Bear Harris wants to throw you in jail. Make sense of that. Make sense of that.
Place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Senator Harris, your response.
And I agree. Kamala Harris. Now keep in mind, I want y'all to realize, because she tries to masquerade herself not only as a black woman. Not only as a black woman is she trying to masquerade herself, she's trying to masquerade herself as a blue collar woman. Kamala Harris, you are not a blue collar woman. Your mother was a doctor. Your mother was a doctor. You are not a blue-collar woman. You do not have, I don't know a lot of black women, respectfully, and I'm not saying that there are no black women that don't have fathers that are, or mothers that have, that are doctors. But I don't know a lot of black women, just from my experience. This is my personal experience. I don't know a lot of black women that have, doctors for parents. This is my experience. My individual experience. So, you're not a blue-collar woman. You come from an affluent family. A very well-off family. Your mother had a practice as a doctor. So I feel like she's been trying to masquerade herself as a blue-collar woman. She is not a blue-collar woman. Not at all. She doesn't understand the everyday American. She doesn't understand the struggle of a single mother. She doesn't understand those struggles. She doesn't relate. Kamala Harris don't know what it's like to be on Section 8. She don't know what it's like for a single mother to struggle to put food on that plate. That single mother working 2 or 3 jobs. She don't know that real black struggle like that. She don't know it.
As the elected Attorney General of California, I did the work of significantly reforming the criminal justice system of a state of 40 million people.
That's a lie. You locked black men and Latino men up at a higher rate than you did white men. You locked them up, threw away the key. Never to see the key again. That's what you did. Stop acting like you did a service for the people of San Francisco. You locked up a lot of good black men. You locked up a lot of good Latino men. Never to see their family. You locked up over 1,500 black and brown men just because they was lighting up the ganja. Just because they had a hard week. A hard work week, and they wanted to smoke a little reefer on a weekend. That's what you did, Kamala. And you need to be held responsible for that. You need to be held responsible for that. So stop acting like you did a service for black people of that community. You did not do it. You did a disservice to the black and brown communities.
Of significantly reforming the criminal justice system of a state of 40 million people, which became a national model for the work that needs to be done. And I am proud of that work.
She's proud of locking up black and brown men at a higher proportion than she did white men. She's proud of it. She's proud of it. Or you Kamala sexuals licking the boots of the political left. She's proud of it. She's proud that she locked up your fathers, your uncles, your brothers, your daughters. She's proud that she locked up black people at a higher proportion than she did white people for minor drug infractions. You know why? Because this woman lacks empathy. She lacks compassion. She lacks humanity. Her whole life has been spent trying to how about this? Her whole life has been spent trying to and outdo her mother. Her mother was let's be real, her mother was an affluent and respected, physician. Her mother had a practice of her own. So she's been spending her life trying to outdo her mother. So every time she locked up a black man, every time she locked up a Latino man, she was fighting to get that district attorney job. She was fighting to outdo her mother, get that senator job. Her life has been spent clawing and grasping, trying to outdo her mother, clawing and grasping, trying to, you know, further her career and her business interests. She hasn't been working for the people. She has not been working for the people whatsoever. She's not a woman of the people. Not in the smallest bit. Salute to Chance for the $20 donation. Salute to you, sir. Salute to Chance. Salute to Chance. He says, salute. Keep up the good work. Thank you for that donation, sir. I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. Salute to you. Salute to Chance for the $20 donation. Let's get back into it.
And I am proud of making a decision to not just give fancy speeches or be in a legislative body and give speeches on the floor, but actually doing the work of being in.
What work have you been doing? I don't know if you guys seen the live I did yesterday, but she got on stage and she talked about how she wanted to work on affordable child care. She wanted to bring down the cost of inflation. Wanted to work on paid time off. Rather paid leave. All things that she could have been working on for the last 3.5 years. Could she not have been? I want you Kamala sexuals to wake up, smell the folders. This woman is running on things that she could have done in the last 3.5 years. Why hasn't she worked to bring down the cost of inflation? Why hasn't she worked on the immigration crisis? Why hasn't she worked on all the things that she has been running for? Why hasn't she been doing it? Where's the work? Where's the effort? Like, what is she busy doing? What is she buying new pantsuits from Claire's? Is she pushing pencils? Is she at her hair appointment getting a new silk press? What is Kamala Harris? What has she been doing for the last 3.5 years? What has she been doing? A lot of you have to ask that question. What has she been doing? What has she been occupied with for the last 3.5 years? Pushing pencils, buying new suit pants. I mean, let's be honest. She has more suit pants than Steve Harvey. We did a poll about, a couple of days ago who had more suit pants, and she won unanimously. She has more suit pants than Steve Harvey. Let's get back into it.
In the position to use the power that I had to reform a system that is badly in need of reform.
Why haven't you been using your power as VP to affect change in terms of inflation? To affect change in people being able to afford a home, for people to afford their groceries. Why haven't you affected change in that way? Your whole campaign is you talking about, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this, and then when I get in office, I'm going to do that, I'm going to work on this, that, and that, and this, and this, and that. And it sounds good. It sounds really good, Kamala. But the reality is you've been sitting in that office for 3.5 years. Your record shows that you're not going to do the work. Your record shows that you like to pencil push. Your record shows that you're not of doing the work. Your record shows that you like to buy new suit pants every other week. So when you're telling me you're going to do this, you're going to do that, and this with the that, and that with the this, it sounds nice. But you got to show us. You got to show and prove. And in those 3.5 years, you have not showed and proved anything.
That is why we created initiatives that were about reentering former offenders and getting them counseling.
The bottom line is, Senator Harris, when you are in a position to make a difference and an impact in these people's lives, you did not. And worse yet, in the case of those who were on death row, innocent people, you actually blocked evidence from being revealed that would have freed them until...
Woo! 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 It's getting hot in here. It's getting hot. It's getting hot in here. It's getting hot in here. This woman blocked evidence that would have freed a man on death row. Kamala sexuals. I know you're in here. Kamala sexuals. Get out the mirror for a second. Take the bang out your ear. I know you're dyeing your hair the same color as a cock right now. But get out the mirror for a second, Kamala sexuals. I need to talk to you. Why would you block evidence that would have freed a man on death row? Why would you try to refrain from freeing an innocent man that did not commit the crime? Why would you do something like that? Do you lack the humanity? Do you lack the compassion? Do you lack all of these things that make up a human being? Why would she do something like that? And it goes back into what I said earlier. That's the job of a prosecutor. The job of a prosecutor is to get a conviction. It's not about reasonable doubt. It's not about, oh, this person had a reason that he was there for this crime and it was a crime of passion. It's not about, oh, we don't have enough evidence. No, we'll make enough evidence. That's what her job was as a prosecution. Your job as a prosecutor is to create more slaves for the prison industrial system. That's what her job was. And listen, she did a damn good job at it. Locking up over 1,500 men just for minor drug and minor marijuana infractions. He did a damn good job at it. Again, if you have something you want to add to the discussion, put it in the Cash App. Or put it in a super chat. I want to hear what you guys. I want to hear what you guys are saying. I want to hear what you guys are talking about. We put respect on the donors. But a lot of you Kamala sexuals, I want you to answer to that. I want you to answer to her locking up over 1,500 men for minor marijuana infractions. I want you to answer to that. I want you to answer to this woman withholding and holding back evidence that could free a man that's on death row, that was innocent of his crime. I want you to answer to that. Answer to those things. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. It's making sense why she doesn't want to sit down and do an interview. It's making a lot of sense to me why she doesn't want to sit down and talk to a publication. It's making a lot of sense to me why she don't want to sit down with a CNN, NBC, ABC, Fox News, or any other publication. Because she can't control the environment like she does at her campaign rallies. She can't control the environment because this was an environment when she had this debate with all the Democratic nominees, Tulsi Gabbard being one of them. She couldn't control the environment of what was being brought to the table, what someone was going to add to the discussion. She could not control it, and she did a horrible job in answering back at what Tulsi Gabbard said.
till you were forced to do so. There is no excuse for that. And the people who suffered under your reign as prosecutor, you owe them an apology.
That's a fact. Is Kamala Harris going to apologize to that black man that she withheld evidence on? Is she going to apologize to him? Is she going to apologize to the 1,500 men and women that she locked up for minor drug infractions? Is she going to apologize to them? Is she going to apologize to those innocent men that she thrown in jail, threw away the key? A lot of those men that went to jail, that went to prison, they were victimized. Who knows the I think it's a popular story of a man named I think his name is Khalif Brown, innocent man that went to jail on Rikers Island. The man lost his life. An innocent man thrown in jail. Innocent man thrown in jail, lost his life in prison. I believe the man's name was Khalif Brown. He went to Rikers Island. So these things happen. Innocent men, just at the wrong place at the wrong time, being thrown in jail. Kamala Harris not caring, not having the compassion, not having the humanity to say, you know what? There's not enough evidence on this man. It seems like we're going after the wrong person. Let's cut this man loose. She, in a lot of cases, did not do that. The police came to her and said, listen, we don't really have enough evidence on him. She said, we'll make enough. The commissioner came to her and said, you know, I don't know. I'm having second thoughts. I don't know. He may not be the suspect we're looking for. She said, I'll make him the suspect. I'll make him the suspect. I got to get this district attorney job. I'll make him the suspect. Just shut up. I'll make him the suspect. We'll make it fit. We'll make it fit. That's what she did in a lot of cases. And now she's suffering the repercussions of that. Now she's suffering because now she's dealing with the repercussions of her actions, and nobody should feel sorry for her. This is a prosecutor. This is a woman that wanted to further her career. She didn't think about all of the harm she did to those innocent men that she thrown in jail. And listen, I'm not going to sit up here and say that every single person that she thrown in jail was innocent. Did she lock up a few criminals here and there? Absolutely. Absolutely. She locked up a couple criminals that probably deserve to go to jail. But you're now running for president of the United States, and you have to pay the piper for all of those black men, all of those brown men that you thrown in jail that were innocent. You have to pay the piper for that, Kamala Harris. You have to pay the piper. We can't just let you slide, get away with it. Doesn't matter. Oh, we like your pantsuit, so we're not gonna talk about it. We like your silk press hair, so we're not gonna focus on that. We're not gonna focus on those things. No, you're gonna have to pay the piper for all those black men and all those Latino men that you left in jail. That you destroyed their lives. You destroyed their families' lives as well. Let's get back into it.
Our Democratic Party, unfortunately, is not the party that is of, by, and for the people. It is a party that has been and continues to be influenced by the foreign policy establishment in Washington, represented by Hillary Clinton and others' foreign policy.
And I can't agree with that anymore. She's speaking facts right now. Look at what we just saw. We just saw a woman that didn't have to go through any primaries, any type of debates, didn't have to go through any interviews, just thrusted into the Democratic nominee. Even though Trump didn't have to, even though Trump didn't do any debates or anything like that with any Republican nominees, he still had to fight to become the Republican nominee. He still had to fight to become the Republican nominee. He had to go through the process. Kamala Harris didn't have to go through the process. There were a plenty of suitors, Democratic suitors, that could have challenged her and that could have been a threat to her. RFK, Gavin Newsom, different people, the governor in Maryland. There were a lot of people that could have challenged her on that Democratic nomination tip. But she robbed people. The Biden administration robbed people from a democratic process. They robbed people of that. And, listen, man, what she's saying it really rings true to what she's saying. I got to be honest. It's ringing true.
By the military-industrial complex and other greedy corporate interests.
Senator Harris, any response?
Oh, sure.
Oh, sure. Oh, sure. I'm surprised she didn't cackle before, answering that question. Normally, she likes to cackle before she answers a question.
I think that it's unfortunate that we have someone on the stage who is attempting to be the Democratic nominee for President of the United States, who during the Obama administration spent 4 years full-time on Fox News criticizing President Obama.
That's
who
ridiculous,
has spent full-time.
So, look at where she went. Instead of defending what she did as a prosecutor. Because at the end of the day, she knows good and well she locked up a lot of innocent men. She knows good and well that, she bloviated and inflated charges on a lot of those men. Instead of defending that, she wants to move the goalposts. Move the goalposts. Oh, let me attack Tulsi Gabbard on criticizing Barack Obama on Fox News. Let me talk about that. Let's not talk about my record as a prosecutor. Let's not talk about all the black men and Latino men that I locked up, bloviated charges, gave them higher charges than their white counterpart. Let's not focus on that. Let's talk about you on, Fox News, Tulsi Gabbard. You are on Fox News criticizing Barack Obama. How could you challenge the beige messiah known as Barack Hussein Obama? How could you challenge him, Tulsi? How dare you? How dare you? Essentially, that's what she said. And we got 259 people in the building. Hit that like button, y'all. Salute to everybody in the building. Hit that like button right now.
What a thrill.
Hit that like button. Hit that like button, y'all.
With darkness and silence through the night.
A lot of y'all are in the darkness. I need you to hit that like button. We rocking out tonight. We riding high. It's a thrill to be here with you, too.
I'm searching and I'm melting to you.
A lot of y'all are searching and melting for that like button and searching and melting for that subscribe button. Hit that thing right now. Hit that thing right now. Hit it right now. Hit it to the beat. Hit it to the beat. Hit it to the beat. Yeah, man. But, listen, man. As a prosecutor, your job is morally corrupt. It's morally bankrupt. It's not you standing on your principles. It's not you doing what's right for the people. It's you doing everything you can to get a conviction. And a lot of these prosecutors, they have aspirations. Do you think that a lot of these prosecutors want to be prosecutors their whole life? No, they have dreams. They want to be a DA. They want to, take that, DA job, maybe get into politics, be a senator, possibly be a governor one day, possibly be a VP, run in some type of political party. They have aspirations and dreams too. And that's what you're looking at when it comes to Kamala. Kamala Harris is an ambitious woman. All you got to do is look at her dating life. She's an ambitious woman. This is an ambitious woman that was willing to do everything in her power to fight and claw to get out of that prosecution job, to get out of that DA job, and to get to where she's gotten. She had no humanity in her job. She had no compassion in the job she was doing. It was about furthering her career, furthering what she was doing. That's what she did. That's what she did.
That's who has spent full time criticizing people on this stage as affiliated with the Democratic Party. When Donald
That's another thing that Kamala Harris does. She stutters sometimes. She stumbles a little sometimes, Kamala Harris, we want to see you in a debate. I would love to see. I want to see Kamala Harris in a debate. I can't wait to see her and Trump in a debate. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see her and Trump in a debate. I think it's going to be a must-see TV for me.
Trump was elected, not even sworn in, buddied up to Steve Bannon to get a meeting with Donald Trump.
Keep in mind, she's not talking about her record as a prosecutor. She's not talking about, she has totally deflected from the black man or the person that she left on death row and withheld evidence that would have freed that man on death row. The courts had to get involved to free that man. Just think about that second. She didn't have the humanity to fall back and say, yeah, let the courts come in and bring this evidence. Let the courts come in. There's new evidence, y'all. This man is innocent. He did not commit this crime. This woman was so morally bankrupt. She lacked compassion and humanity that she fought and withheld evidence that would have freed a man on death row. She don't want to talk about that. She's diverting. All of you Kamala sexuals that say, oh, Trump is diverting. Trump don't want to talk about this. Trump don't want to talk about that. Why doesn't Kamala Harris want to talk about the man she left on death row? Why doesn't she want to talk about that? Why doesn't she want to further go into that? I would like to hear more about that story.
In the Trump Tower, fails to call a war criminal by what he is as a war criminal, and then spends full time during the course of this campaign.
All deflection.
Again, criticizing the Democratic Party.
Why can't people criticize the Democratic Party? That's something I have been asking since I started beginning doing these lives. Kamala sexuals, they get butthurt every time I say something about the political left. They get butthurt. They get their panties in a bunch. Why can't we criticize the political left? Why can't we do it? I want to ask a lot of you Kamala sexuals, why can't we criticize the political left? Because listen, I talk about the conservative right as well. I talked about them. I did a whole video talking about Trump. I talked about him before. But why can't we talk about the political left? Why do you guys get so butthurt when we talk about the political left? I want to know. If you're a Kamala sexual, I would like to know, why can't we talk about the political left? Why do you guys get so butthurt when we talk about the political left? Are they holier than thou? Like let me know. Let your little light shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, oh, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let's get back into it. Let's get back into it.
On the stage in November is someone who has the ability to win. And by that, we need someone on that stage who has the ability to go toe-to-toe with Donald Trump and someone who has the ability to...
You can't go toe-to-toe with Donald Trump, Kamala. You can't even do an interview. And Kamala sexuals. I need y'all to answer this as well. I know y'all in here. Why won't this woman do an interview? Why has she yet to do an interview? I've been asking myself since she's gotten the nomination, since the announcement came out that Biden was stepping down. Why has she yet to do an interview? Trump has done 3 interviews at this point. 3. Trump has done 3 interviews at this point. He sat down with CNN. He sat down with he sat down with the National Association of Black Journalists. He sat down with Aiden Ross. He has sat down with the people. Why hasn't Kamala Harris sat down with the people yet? Sit down with the people. See, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be honest with y'all. A lot of the Kamala sexuals, hear me out. You need to be worried about her not doing interviews. You need to be worried about that. Because the one thing you can say about Trump, he'll sit down with anybody. He'll sit down with the National Association of Black Journalists. He'll sit down with a CNN. He'll sit down with just a random interview with an Aiden Ross. And when you do that, it prepares you for a debate. It prepares you for the random questions. It prepares you to be questioned, the tough questions. It prepares you mentally to be in those types of waters. The fact that she's not doing those interviews and being in those tough interviews and sitting down with those people, it's not going to help her in a debate. That she's hiding from that. It's not going to help her. The fact that she's ducking and hiding from doing these interviews, it's not going to help her. In the long run, it's not going to help her. It really isn't. So y'all need to talk to her and tell her, listen, you got to do these interviews. You're going to have to sit and talk with a Fox News. You're going to have to do a stream with Kai Cenat. You're running for president of the United States. You're going to have to sell yourself. You're going to have to sell your policies. You're going to have to do more, Kamala. You're going to have to do more. And another thing about Kamala, and this is my number 1 gripe. Kamala sexuals, hear me closely. This is my number 1 gripe with Kamala Harris. Number 1 gripe. Woman, can you please, for the love of Christ, please, give us a new campaign speech. Every campaign Bernie's speech is the same. If you heard one, you heard them all. We're not going back. That's one of her things she said. You know what else she says? She goes through this whole, diatribe of, oh, I spent a lot of time as a prosecutor and I dealt with frauds. Trump is a fraud. I dealt with sex criminals that violated women. Trump is one of those too. It's the same song and dance. Every single and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, she's only on stage for 30 minutes. If even that, it's really more like 20 minutes. And it ain't no long, powerful speech like that. Like, you can't get somebody to write you a better speech. And hear me out. Listen, does Trump say some of the same things in his speech? He absolutely does. But you know what the difference is? Trump has charisma. Trump has charisma. He's a very likable personality. He has charisma. Kamala Harris doesn't have charisma. She's just a cackling queen. She just cackles. That's not charisma. So, I mean, a lot of you Kamala sexuals, you need to tell her, listen, man, we need you to do more speeches. And there need to be new speeches. We need to hear new speeches. You need to bring new things to the forefront. You need to talk about new things. I need to hear exactly. Somebody says she's even worse, unscripted. She is. But I'm going to be honest with you, most of her campaign rallies, and I've heard publications say this, they said, she comes off very robotic. It's very robotic. It's very telegraphed, very robotic. It's like, if you've seen one campaign rally, you've seen them all. It's nothing new. And that's the difference between her and Trump. Trump has more charisma. He may say the same things. He may say that every time he puts that chart up, he talks about how that chart saved his life. He says that in every campaign rally. But it's the fact that he has charisma. You're cool with it. You're fine with it. There's no charisma when Kamala Harris does. There's no charisma. There's no spunk when she does it. And it's only a 30-minute speech. It's only a 20-minute speech, if that. So it's not a long speech.
Rebuild the Obama coalition and bring the party and the nation together. I believe I am that candidate.
Thank you, Senator. Congresswoman Gabbard, I'll give you a chance to respond.
Senator,
you are not the candidate. We got a donation in the building. Salute to Salute to Bingo with the $5 donation. Salute to you, sir. Salute to you. Salute to Bingo. Salute to Bingo. Bingo says, also, talking with other countries' leaders, she's going to have to give good impressions with them, or she might start another war. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's an absolute Snapple fact. And think about it, Bingo. Think about it. What did they say to us when it came to Trump? Because I remember what they were saying about Trump when he was first running, when he first ran. What did they say to us? Oh, Trump. He don't know nothing about foreign policies. He don't know nothing about talking to foreign leaders. He don't know nothing about this. He don't know nothing about that. But keep in mind, when Trump was in office, we didn't have an Israel-Hamas situation. We didn't have a Russia-Ukraine situation. We didn't have China circling the waters of Taiwan situation. That all happened underneath a Biden administration, did it not? So they told us that, Trump, he wasn't good with foreign policy, but in real reality, it was really Biden who wasn't good with foreign policy. Biden doesn't know how to talk to these foreign leaders. Biden and Kamala don't know how to talk. I mean, do you guys really want Kamala Harris speaking on behalf of the United States to Putin? Do you really want that? Do you really want the leader of Iran talking to Kamala Harris? Is that really what you guys are going to have to ask that question? A lot of you Kamala sexuals are going to have to answer that question. Election night. Because I'm going to be real with you. World leaders, they do not respect Joe Biden and they do not respect Kamala Harris. So if you want 4 more years of not being respected by world leaders, Kamala Harris is your girl. They don't respect Joe Biden. They don't respect Kamala Harris. The thing about Trump, they know Trump is off the rocker. They know Trump is moving like a gangster. Remember what Trump said to that? What did he say to the ISIS leader? No, he said to Kim Jong-un. He said, "I have a red button on my desk and it works." And then he told the ISIS leader, I have pictures of your house. We need a gangster in the White House. We don't need somebody using pronouns in the White House. We need somebody that's tough. And a lot of y'all, listen, a lot of y'all are going to, a lot of you Kamala, I'm talking to the Kamala sexuals. A lot of you Kamala Harris supporters, you're gonna have to get over it. Election night, you're gonna have to get over it, because I'm gonna be honest with you. You may want a woman president. You may dislike Donald Trump. All of the above. You may want a woman president. You may dislike Donald Trump. All of the above. But I'm letting a lot of you Americans know right now, a lot of you Kamala sexual fans know right now, this is not the time in our country's history for a woman president. I'm letting y'all know that right now. We got too many enemies. Whether it's Russia, China, Iran, we have too many enemies for a pronoun using president. This is not the time for your soy boy politics. This is not the time. This is not the time.
What Harris is doing is unfortunately continuing to traffic in lies and smears and innuendos because she cannot challenge the substance of the argument that I'm making, the leadership and the change that I'm seeking to bring in our foreign policy, which only makes me guess that she will, as president, continue the status quo, continue the Bush, Clinton, Trump foreign policy of regime change wars, which is deeply
and make no mistake that the Biden-Kamala Harris administration, they have totally dropped the ball on foreign policy. So, and just like I said, when Trump was running to get in office, they were saying that Trump was terrible with foreign policy. But in all reality, Trump is a businessman. He's done business with people from different countries. He would be the man for foreign policy, because everything revolves around business. In all actuality, Biden and Kamala Harris, they were bad for foreign policy. They're the reason that all of this turmoil is going on. They're the reason that we have conflicts with all these different countries. Should they not be held responsible? Should they not be held responsible? Because a lot of people look at, United States as the police of the world, which we should not be. We should not be the police of the world. Gotta be honest. But a lot of people look at United States as the police of the world in terms of being that. They have done a horrible job of being that. They have absolutely done a bad job at that. They've done a bad job. A bad job. Somebody says she won't go to the border. That's a fact. Why won't she go to the border? Why won't she go to the border? Why won't she go to the... That's a very, very, very good question. I would love to know why she won't go to the border as well. Let's continue, though.
Destructive.
Oh, that was it? That was it? That was it? Okay. Well, listen, man. Let's get to the cackling cow. I just want you guys to especially a lot of you Kamala sexuals, that are tuned in. Let me make sure the audio is on this one. But I just want to know something. Why is this woman always laughing uncontrollably? Cackling, always with the cackle. Why is she always doing this?
Stay woke. Like
you need to stay woke.
Everybody needs to be woke. And you can talk about if you're the wokest or woker, but just stay more woke than less woke. Yeah. We have to stay woke.
Cringe. Absolutely. Cringe. Let's play that back.
Woke. Like everybody needs to be woke.
You have to stay woke. And both of them are like looking at her like what are you laughing about? What are you cackling about? What are you cackling about? What's so damn funny? What's so damn funny, Kamala?
And you can talk about if you're the wokest or woker, but just stay more woke than less woke. Yeah.
Stay woke or less woke. Like I'm kind of scratching my head. Like I don't know what the hell she's talking about. Somebody said heels up, Kamala.
We have to stay woke. Like
stay woke.
Everybody needs to be woke.
Everybody needs to be woke. She's always cackling. What is the cackling about? People are dealing with people are dealing with inflation. People are dealing with inflation, the cost of living. They're having trouble trying to keep their homes. They're trying to pay their rent on top of their grocery bill. And what do you do with that, Kamala? You're on stage on an interview cackling. I'm disgusted at that. I'm disgusted. Disgusted. My nigga, I'm disgusted. Disgusted, my nigga. I'm disgusted that you're cackling while people are suffering. I'm disgusted while people are trying to pay their damn grocery bills. You're on stage cackling like a cow. I'm disgusted at that. I can't vote for that. I can't support that. Especially when you got rhetoric like this.
I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
Then I can't vote for you. I can't vote for you. I cannot vote for you. I cannot vote for you, Kamala. You won't be getting the black vote.
Talk about if you're the wokest or woker.
Wokest or the woker.
Just stay more woke than less woke.
It's like, does anybody know what she's talking about? Can anybody break down the wokeism? Break down the wokeism for me. Break down the wokeism and the woker and the wokest. Break it down for me. Is there like a tier system? Like wokest is like S tier. Woker is like A tier. It's like a tier system. Wokest, woker. Somebody got to break that down to me, because I really don't know what the hell she was talking. All I know is she's a cackling cow. The cackling cow. Wokest, the woker. But our country is in absolute turmoil right now, and we have to get it together right now. We have to get it together, man. We have to get it together. Kamala Harris. Let me go widescreen on y'all, because I'm looking something up real quick. But you know, Kamala Harris, I'm gonna be real with you guys. Like I said earlier, this is not the time for a female president. It just isn't. We're not in this country's time for a female president. Maybe we could have had a female president during the Obama years. Maybe when Trump first got in office, we could have had a woman president. But at this particular time and at this particular juncture, this is not the time for a female president. I'm sorry. It's not. It's just not time for it. And we have too many enemies that we have to think about. And the reality is, and this goes to a lot of you black voters. I'm gonna play this video, and I've played it before. You've heard this video.
I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm gonna do something that's only gonna benefit black people. No.
You've heard this video before, but I'm gonna play it because you know there's a sector of black people that are licking the boots of the political left right now. Licking the boots of the political left, and I'm disgusted. And we need to change that. Here you have a video of Kamala Harris saying she will not support reparations. Now, if you're a black person, if you're trying to be incentivized for your vote, this should be a red flag to you. And if there ever was any doubt in your mind if this was a black woman or not, this should answer your question. Because there's a sector of people out there. Oh, she's a black woman. I mean, I hear the chatters out there. She's a black woman. If there's any chatters out there, hold on, my fault. Hold on, wrong video. If there's any chatters out there of her being a black woman, this video should put it to bed, you know, indefinitely. This is not a black woman. What you have here is a multiculturalist. And listen, that's fine. That's fine. If you're a multiculturalist, if you're biracial, that's a beautiful thing. It really is. It's a beautiful thing. But, you know, to say that you're a black woman, you're not a black woman. You have people like Joy Reid, Joy Behar. I remember when Sinclair said, why all the people that are named Joy are just so you know, terrible, you know, they're so horrible, you know, about what they feel about life. Their names are Joy, but they have no joy. But I feel like I have to play this video for a lot of the black populace, because there's a sector of black people, and listen, Latinos too. Let me just say this real quick. A Latino civil rights group is backing Kamala Harris. They're backing Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris doesn't care about the Latino vote neither. Kamala Harris cares about the immigrant vote. If you're an immigrant, if you're an undocumented person in this country, she wants to give you the right to vote. The Democrats want to create an immigrant class that they can incentivize and keep them in office for the next 50 years. Like how the blacks did. That's what they're trying to do right now. They're trying to suppress the black and the brown vote. I'm gonna be honest, they're trying to suppress the brown vote as well. The naturalized brown vote, if you've been here for years, you're a naturalized citizen, they're trying to suppress your vote as well. If there's anything you need to be woke on, you need to be woke on that. But for any of you, anybody that's in here that's a black person, a black man, a black woman, if you're having reservations of this being a black person, I think that this interview answers your question. If this video doesn't answer your question, I don't know what will. In terms of her being a black woman, let's get into it.
Support reparations for black.
Will you support reparations? That's what she asked her. Will you support reparations for black people?
Do you support reparations for black people?
Do you support reparations for black people? Now listen, hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. All she had to say was yes or no. Yes or no. Yes, I am in favor of reparations for foundational black Americans. No, I am not in favor to foundational black Americans. But when you shuck and jive for every single community, you shuck and jive for the black community. You shuck and jive for the LGBTQ community. You shuck and jive for the Indian community. You shuck and jive for the Hispanic community. You have these answers that placate everyone and that, incorporate everyone when it's really just a black answer. Do you support reparations for black people? Yes. No. Listen to how she worded this and listen to the disrespect that she gave black people towards the end.
Well, listen, again, we had over 200 years of slavery. We had Jim Crow for almost a century.
So listen, hear me out. This is a woman that is educated. She's educated that black people have not have an equal footing in this country. She's educated that black people did not receive any land, any compensation after slavery. There was no land given after slavery. There was no compensation after slavery. Truth be told, when slavery ended, a lot of those black women and men had to go back to those plantations and they had to do something known as sharecropping. So imagine coming off of a plantation, being under slavery for generations, and having to go back to the same plantation that you worked on. So, she understands that black people have not have an equal footing on this country. So when you know that, when you understand that, you should understand that our story is not, our story is not like the immigrant story. Our story is not like the Anglo-Saxon American story. Our story is not like the naturalized citizen in this country's story. But instead of talking to our interests, instead of talking to our incentives, she wants to go through the backyard, go through the forest, go through grandmother's front yard, go around the back house. She wants to, do all this finagling and maneuvering and not give a yes or no answer.
We had legalized discrimination and segregation, and now we have segregation and discrimination that is not legal but still exists.
What about the domestic terrorism as well? Black people being terrorized in this country in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. Dropping bombs on Black Wall Street. Dropping bombs on the push movement. That was in the 80s. 1980s. What about all the domestic terrorism? Do black people deserve to get compensated for all of that? I think so. And this is exactly why you have to be careful in who you call black. Everybody's not black. Just because they got a little bit of melanin. A little bit of melanin. Just because you got a little bit of melanin, that don't make you black. Are you psychologically black?
And is a barrier to progress. We have disparities around housing. We have disparities around education. We have disparities around income. And we have to recognize that everybody did not start out on an equal footing in this country.
I agree. But you also need to understand is that the foundational Black American story is like no other story. The foundational Black American story, there's nobody in America that has the same story as the foundational Black American story. Nobody in America has the same story as the foundational Black American. Let me get to this super chat. Hold on. Bingo says it's with the $2 donation. Salute to Bingo. He says it's Democratic way. They were all slave owners. That's an absolute, total, Snapple fact. In my opinion, the Democrats, they're still slave owners. Look at how they treat black people. Look at how they treat black people. You're gonna see how she talks about black people and how she feels about the black vote and how she feels about incentivizing the black vote. The Democrats, they're still slave owners. Look at how they treat black people. Look at how they treat the black vote. Black people come out and vote for them every year, and look at how they treat them. They don't incentivize them. They don't give them anything. They give them chicken feed. They don't compensate them. 100% of the vote, but you don't do anything for them. You don't incentivize them. Not like you do the LGBTQ. Not like you do the immigrant class. You don't incentivize them. Let's get back into it.
Country. And in particular, black people have not. And so we have got to recognize that and do something about that and give folks a lift up. That's why, for example, I'm proposing the LIFT Act. Give people...
The LIFT Act will not directly affect change in the black community. This beautiful black woman, I'm talking about the interviewer, not the cosplaying black woman known as Kamala Harris. But the interviewer, that beautiful black woman, she asked Kamala Harris a question. Will you support reparations? We don't care about your LIFT Act. We don't care whatever, bill you're trying to get ran or trying to do. We asking you a direct question about reparations. Black people do not have the same story as the Anglo-Saxon white man in this country or any other person in this country. Our story is unique. No other race of people were brought to America and forced to work under slavery. Controlled and regulated by the government. No other race of people were under that. That directly affected foundational black people. We are talking about things that will incentivize us, that will help us. Will you work for us? And this is what I'm talking about, y'all. Stop calling her a black woman. This is not a black woman. Get out of your Democratic fever dream. This is not a black woman. She is not working on behalf of black people. And another thing, a lot of y'all get confused. A lot of people y'all get confused on another thing. Barack Obama is not a black man. He was an African man from Hawaii. He had no ties to foundational black Americans that built this country, that built the White House. He had no ties to us. What y'all found was an African man, Tether, from Hawaii, and told us he was a black man. No, he was not a black man. He was an African from Hawaii. You know, hold on, one second. Hold on a second. I'm cooking with gas here. But you know, that's another thing that a lot of y'all got confused. Y'all thought that Obama was a black man. Obama is not a black man. Obama is an African. Obama is an African man from Hawaii who did not work on behalf of black people. Obama, in my opinion, I'm going to be honest with you guys. In my opinion, I think Obama was the first gay president. You know, if we happen to get a gay president in the next, 20, 30 years or whatever, I disagree with that. I think Barack Obama was the United States' first gay president. That's my opinion. If you know anything about the old journal that he left around, he talked about, having a relationship with a man. Then you got the whole Michael debacle. We're not going to get into that. Hey, Barack. Hey, girl. Hey, girl. How you doing, girl? Hey, girl. Chaka, chaka, cha. Let's get back into it, though.
People who are making $100,000 or less as a family, a tax credit, which will benefit and uplift 60% of black families who are...
None of this is directly impacting black people. You're talking about things that you're going to do for all Americans. But all Americans have not suffered under slavery. All Americans have not suffered under Jim Crow. All Americans were not drinking out of a colored water fountain. All Americans were not getting sprayed and hosed down by the fire department and getting bit in their ass by dogs during the civil rights era. All Americans were not being told to sit at the back of the bus. So how can you impact change to a people that were directly targeted and say, "Oh, you're going to do something for everyone"? But it didn't happen to everyone. It only happened to us.
by default it affects black families, but there's not a particular policy for African Americans that you would explore.
But no, if you look at the reality of who will benefit from certain policies, when you take into account that they're not starting at the same place and they're not stacking.
What are you doing directly for black people? And I heard an idiot say, "Oh, you did not suffer from slavery. My ancestors served under slavery. Generations of my ancestors served under slavery. They deserve to be compensated. They deserve their just due. Somebody deserves to treat those people with respect and dignity. All that they suffered." And who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Because I'm kicking you out personally just for saying something so stupid, saying something so ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. And it only comes to you only hear the disrespect when it comes to black people. Because when we talk about, I'm not going to get into it, but when we talk about, different events in history, like what happened in World War II, I'm not going to say the name, but when we talk about that, you guys have respect for what happened there. And I'm not going to get into and respect to those people. But when we talk about slavery, which went on for well over 400 years, you want to disrespect black people. And it's mostly coming from white people. 400 years of slavery. You got respect for, other people. Listen, and no disrespect to anybody, other people that have suffered. Listen, other people have suffered before. But no one has suffered like black people. We've been suffering. And there were laws in place and things in place in this government that specifically targeted black people. And we do not have the same story. That's just the facts of it. That's just the facts of it. Let's continue though.
They're not starting on equal footing. It will directly benefit.
It will directly benefit. How will it directly benefit? How will it directly benefit when it's not directly for us? Like I said, everybody did not suffer under slavery. Every person in America did not suffer under slavery, Jim Crow, Reconstruction, the Civil Rights era. It did not impact everyone. So how can you do something for everyone when only one race of people it happened to? This is not a black woman, and this is not a woman for us and by us. This is a cosplaying black woman.
Black children, black families, black homeowners. Because the disparities are so significant.
And the disparities are so significant.
So if we focus on the specific issues.
You're not focusing on the specific issues. Because you're not specifically helping one person. You're not specifically targeting the people that are suffering. You're doing it for one. You're doing it for all.
That have resulted in the greatest disparities. And we understand that that's part of why we're doing it. Listen, the reality also is this. Any policy that will benefit black people will benefit all of society.
That's an absolute falsity. Like I said, everybody in America did not suffer under slavery. How about this? Let me throw some history facts at you guys. Because I talked about World War II. Anybody know about the GI Bill? Let's see if you guys know anything about American history. Anybody know about the GI Bill? Let's see if you guys got your thinking cap. Let's see if you guys know your U.S. history. Anybody know about the GI Bill? What did the GI Bill? What is the GI Bill? When a lot of those soldiers came back home from World War II, the GI Bill was in place. It made a lot of soldiers homeowners for the first time. Look up the GI Bill. But guess what? Guess what, y'all? When a lot of those black soldiers came back home, fought for their country, they were denied the GI Bill. So a lot of those first-time homeowners were only white men. Black men did not get to be a part of that GI Bill. They rejected a lot of black men. They did not allow those black men to have equity, to have a home. Like, I mean, you guys see the stories about a lot of those baby boomers when they talk about how they brought a home. Their home only costed, $3,000. You see those stories. Now the home is worth $500,000, if not more. The GI Bill targeted black men. No, we know you fought for the country. We know you did this. We know you did that. But you will not be taking part of this GI Bill. We're only going to give it to the white soldiers. A lot of you look into the GI Bill. So when you're talking about things that we're going to do something for all Americans were not oppressed. All Americans were not targeted. All Americans did not suffer under slavery. All Americans did not deal with the racism, the oppression, the systematic racism from top to bottom, from the white supremacist system known as the U.S. government. So this goes into what I'm talking about. This is not a woman that is working for us. And any of you that, especially any of you Kamala Harris supporters, I want you, all you have to do, and listen, don't listen to me. You don't like me, you don't like what I'm saying, that's fine and dandy. Look into this woman's sponsorship. Look at the people sponsoring her, funding her, putting money behind her. Those are the people you need to look at, because those are the people that she's going to work for. She will not be working for the American people. She's going to be working for those sugar daddies that put money into her, her campaign. That's who she's working for. She's not working for black, brown people, not whatsoever. Let's continue, though. Let's continue.
Let's be clear about that. Let's really be clear about that.
Let's really be clear about that.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
Are we done here? Are we done here? Are we done? Are we done here? We gotta be done here. And just look at the disrespect. I talked about this before. Just the disrespect. Her bopping in the chair. She just bopping in the chair. I'm not gonna say, hey, I'm gonna do something specifically for black people. No. Bopping in that chair back and forth. I'm not going to do anything specifically for black people. No. Bopping in that shit. Take a look at that again. Especially you black people. Take a look at that again. Take a look at that. I need y'all to take a gander at that. Take a gander at that.
No. Because
Oh, take a gander at that. Let's bring that back. Let's bring that back.
Say, I'm gonna do something that's only gonna benefit black.
Look at the bop. Look at the bop. Look at the bop. The bop.
I'm gonna do something that's only gonna benefit. Sit here and say, I'm gonna do something that's only. Sit here and say, I'm gonna do something that's only. Sit here and say, I'm gonna do something that's only gonna benefit black people. No.
Look at the bop.
Say, I'm gonna do something that's only.
Look at the bop.
Sit here and say, I'm gonna do something that's only gonna benefit black.
Look at the disrespect. Look at the disrespect. Look at the disrespect.
I'm not gonna sit here and say, I'm gonna do something that's only gonna benefit black people. Sit here and say, I'm gonna do something. So
look at how comfortable she is. Look at the bop. This is a woman that knows, black people, they're going to vote for me either way. I don't have to do anything for them. I don't have to incentivize them in any way. I'm not going to do nothing specifically for them.
Here and say, I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. So I'm not going to sit here and say, I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people.
Look at the disrespect. This is who you're voting for? Fire! Salute to anything possible. They said the audacity of the bop. That's an absolute fact. Salute to you for saying that. Salute to anything possible. They said the audacity of the bop. The bop was wild disrespectful. Bopping in that chair back and forth. If you're not going to do anything specifically for black people, then why are we voting for you? Why should we support you? And a lot of you black Kamala sexuals that are supporting her, you have to deal with this. You have to deal with this clip.
So I'm not going to sit here and say, I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people.
You're going to have to deal with this clip.
So I'm not going to sit here and say, I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people.
You're going to have to deal with that.
So I'm not going to sit here and say, I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people.
You're going to have to deal with this. Fire, 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 fire. If you're not going to do anything specifically for black people, Kamala, then we can't support you. We can't support you. You're not working for us. You're not for us. You're not by us. You're not a black woman. You've never considered yourself a black woman because this is your rhetoric.
So I'm not going to sit here and say, I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people.
Then we won't be voting for you. Period. Closed case. Closed case. Closed case. Closed case. Closed case. Closed case. Close case, y'all. Listen, man. Listen.
What a thrill.
Hit that like button, y'all. Hit that like button.
With darkness and silence through the night.
Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button, y'all.
What a thrill.
It's a thrill to be here with you, but hit that like button, man.
I'm searching and I'll melt into you.
Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button right now. At the end of the day, you know, listen, at the end of the day, I don't see why anyone black, listen, if you're white, you hate Trump, you love to use pronouns, you've dyed your hair the same color as a cock, that's a chicken, I understand why you would vote for this woman. Every time you see Trump, your panties are in a bunch. I get it. But if you're black, you're heterosexual, you don't use pronouns, I don't see the reason for voting for this woman. What do you have to gain? She's already pledged to not do anything for your community. What do you have to gain from her? She's already pledging not to do anything for you. She's already pledging, I will not be working on behalf of the black community. I will not be incentivizing them. So why are we working for her? Why are we campaigning for her? Why are we supporting her in any way? There's no reason why we should be. And I've been saying that from top to bottom. I am going to continue to kick in the backs of the political left because they have disrespected the black vote. They have disrespected our agendas, our incentives. We can't support the Democratic left anymore. We can't support them. We may have to vote conservative. We may have to be independent. We may have to turn into libertarians. But the Democrats have showed their tails to us. They have disrespected us. They have spit in our faces. And it's time to move away from them. It really is. It's time to move away. It's time to move away. Absolutely time to move away from the political left because they're hurting us. They're not helping us. They're hurting us as a race of people. They're not helping us. They're not helping our incentives. They're not helping our agendas. Every other race of people, respectfully, they all are looking at their presidential candidate. Okay, we want you to do this for us. We want you to work this agenda for us, whether it be the LGBTQ, the immigrant class, whoever it be. Everybody is being incentivized. The Democrats, they look at the black community and they say, you ain't getting nothing. Thank you for 100% of the vote. Thank you for campaigning for me. Thank you for supporting me. But you ain't getting a damn thing. And I, for one, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of being taken advantage of. I'm tired of my black vote being taken advantage of. I'm tired of them telling us that they can't do it for us. Oh, we can't work on this. And yeah, I'm tired of it. I can't do it no more. It's been 50 years. And they haven't done anything. They haven't fixed anything. All right, it's time. It's time to move on from the Democratic left. Stop bootlicking Joy Reid. Stop bootlicking Whoopi Goldberg. Stop bootlicking Charlemagne the God or Lesser Charge God. Stop bootlicking Angela Rye. Stop bootlicking Don Lemon. Stop bootlicking. The Democrats have not done anything for black people for over 50 years. Somebody said, what do I want as a black man? You know what I want. We talked about it. Reparations, a hate crime bill that will protect black citizens like Sonia Massey, George Floyd, Tamir Rice, Trayvon Martin. Why do we have, and listen, hear me out. I have no problem. I support the Asian hate crime bill. Asian people should be respected and they should also be protected. If somebody's out there, targeting people, of Asian descent, they should be protected. They absolutely should be protected. I support the Asian hate crime bill, right? With all the history of black people being oppressed, targeted, deleted, why don't we have a black hate crime bill that will protect black citizens. Why don't we have that? Why don't we have that? These are things that the Democrats could have worked on. These are things that the Democrats could have pushed it. Think about it. COVID, how long did COVID last? What, like, I would say like 2020, that's when it was like at its fever pitch. 2021, it was still prevalent. It started to slow down towards the end of the year. 2022, we were pretty much back in action, right? We're talking about more or less two and a half years. 2.5 years that Asian hate crime bill got passed. And guess what? I support it. I have no problems with it. Black people have been targeted, domestically terrorized in this country since slavery up until now. And we don't have a hate crime bill. Why is that? And who do we have to blame? We're only voting for the Democratic left. We're not sitting down having discussions with the conservative right wings. We're not sitting down with Mitch McConnell having breakfast with Mitch McConnell or the right wing conservatives. We're not sitting down having talks with them, breakfast with them, breaking bread with them, electing them in our cities and in our towns. We're breaking bread with the Democrats. And what do we have to show for it? Absolutely nothing. Somebody said hate crimes are already illegal. That's absolutely true. But guess what? Hate crimes have been going on towards black people since the end of slavery. Because you got to think, when hate crimes were going on during slavery, it was accepted. It's been going on well after slavery. But we got an Asian hate crime bill. And I just find it, I find it very sad that we got, white, it's always a white person. It's always a white person. We could have and listen, hear me out. I'm going to say it 100 times because I have no problem with the Asian hate crime bill. I think that the Asian hate crime bill is a good thing. We need that because Asian people were being targeted. I've seen the videos of where they were being targeted and stuff like that. They need to be protected. But what about all those black men and women that were domestically terrorized, whether it be by the KKK, whether it would be, people getting lynched, people being terrorized in this country? What about that mass shooting in Buffalo? Black people being targeted. Should I talk about Dylan Roof? Why weren't those black people protected? Why isn't there a bill in place, a hate crime bill that specifically protects black people? Why? And it's always a white person that, we got hate crime bill. We got a hate crime bill. Slavery was 200 years ago. It's always a white person. But that's I'm just saying, man, this is just how I feel. And I'm gonna say it again, I I have no problem with any community being incentivized, whether it be the LGBTQ, whether it be the Hispanic community, whether it be the Asian community. I have no problem seeing other communities being incentivized. I have no issue with that. I think that's a beautiful thing. I think that's a dope thing. I think that's good for their community, and I champion that. But why can't the Democrats do that for the black community? Why can't they work on behalf of the black community? Why do we got, Kamala Harris bopping in her chair when black people are talking about being incentivized? Why do we have that?
Benefit black people? Will benefit all of society. Let's be clear about that.
Why do we got her bopping in her chair?
Really be clear about that.
Why we got her bopping in her chair?
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
Why we got her bopping in her chair when it talks about incentivizing black people? Huh? You incentivize the Asian community. You incentivize the LGBTQ community. You incentivize the immigrant class. You put them up in fancy hotels and give them credit cards. You incentivize the European Jewish community. And guess what? We ain't mad at that. We not mad at that. We not mad. Salute for supporting and incentivizing them. But why you bopping in your chair when we want something from you? These are things you need to look at as a black voter. I just said, if you're white, you're a liberal, you got your hair, dyed and colored as the same color as a cock, that's a chicken. I understand why you're voting for this woman. But if you're a black voter, you need to rethink your vote. You need to rethink your vote. That's all I'm going to say, You need to rethink your vote. You need to rethink your vote. But with that being said, listen, man. Somebody says she got a black scent. I disagree. I think she turns on that black scent like AOC. AOC, she tries to turn on her black scent every now and then. Yeah, she tried to turn on her black scent every now and then, but it just sounds ridiculous. But with that being said, guys, we're closing out here. We're gonna have more discussions when it comes to Kamala Harris. We're gonna have more discussions when it comes to Donald Trump. Election season is upon us. This is the most important election of our lifetime. Forget about Barack Obama and John McCain, Barack Obama and Mitt Romney. Forget about Donald Trump and Hillary. Forget about Al Gore and George Bush. Forget about all of those elections. This right here is the most important election of our lifetime. Make no mistake about it. Make no mistake about it. We have never seen the course of events that have occurred like we have seen in the last 12 to 10 months with these two candidates we have coming. This is an important election, and we're going to be reporting on it. If this is your first time at this show, your first time here on this live stream, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel right now. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. We will be doing more dialogue discussions on Kamala Harris, Donald Trump, and the political left. More discussions. More discussions. More discussions. More discussions. We're gonna have more discussions. We're gonna get to. I'm going to continue. to kick in the backs of the political left. Because I'm passionate about it. I want to give a salute to Sinclair for putting in that mod work. Salute to Sinclair. Salute to Dr. Strange. I saw him earlier in the stream. Salute to him. And in closing, you guys have a good weekend, man. Again, subscribe to the channel, like this video. I hope you guys have been entertained as well as enlightened. I am your host, True and Living. This is the Check-In Report. You guys have a beautiful night. Y'all have a gracious night. And more than likely, you guys are going to, God willing, you're going to see me tomorrow. I'm going to do another stream. And we got to get to the meat and potatoes of this. This is a very important election. A lot of things are happening. We got a lot to talk about. The Democratic National Convention is a few days away. Allegedly, Donald Trump and Kamala will be sitting down for a debate. That's another thing coming up. We got a lot to get to. But with that being said, you guys have a beautiful night. God willing, I'll see you guys tomorrow. With that being said, good night, y'all. We out.
What a thrill, with darkness and silence through the night. What a thrill. I'm searching and I'll melt into you.